To today's meditation time. It is an honor to get to spend these few minutes with you as we close out our weekend. We head into a new week, and so I would invite you, wherever you are in your home, just settle in. Find a position of comfort. If you are seated on the ground or on a chair, just really anchor through your sit bones and allow yourself to feel grounded as you sit nice and tall. If you're kind of lying down a bit, just lengthen through your spine, because our goal is that we feel the energy moving up and down through the body in each moment that we share together. And so as you gently allow your eyes to close, or you can soften your gaze toward the ground, let's just start with a little breath together, just to usher us into these few minutes of present moment awareness. Just take a nice, slow, deep breath in, and a nice, slow, deep breath out. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale slowly. Exhale fully. One more together. And let it go. And let those first few breaths just usher you into a pace of breath that feels right for you. Whatever you've brought to this moment, let the breath settle you, calm you, keep you aware and alert. But more than anything, let it find that connection to the fullness of you. The breath is not separate from who we are, just like the thoughts are not separate and the body is not separate. And so let's just see ourselves as one whole being and accept. This is who I am. And I fully and without judgment and with compassion accept who I am here in this moment, right now. And so as you're settling in, our focus for these few minutes that we have, we've been on this journey the last few times together, tapping into all these different spots of energy that exist within all of us. And so today's focus is our voice. And so each time we've looked at a different energy spot in our body throughout this being of who we are. I've tried to take you on this journey so that no matter how you learn best, I want to give you a connection to that energy that has meaning for you. And so the Sanskrit word for this voice energy that exists right here in the center of our throat is Vishuddha. That's the Sanskrit word for it. And for those of you that need a visual, I would invite you to see the color blue. Whatever shade you picture, when I say blue, whatever you see, let that be your color. And for those of you who need a tangible place to imagine, you can take your hand and just gently touch right there in the center of your throat, the place that you picture your voice coming from. And for those of you who are more auditory, the bija mantra or the seed mantra, the sound associated with that part of us, it says hum, hum, hum. We don't translate it, we don't look for a meaning, we just hear the vibration of that part of us. And then for others who need something a little more concrete, I would invite you to think about a time when you were in the presence of someone who was speaking. It could have been a great leader, it could have been a pastor in your church, maybe a yoga instructor from the mat, maybe a teacher, but someone that you can remember that when they spoke, you felt this intimate connection to what they were saying, almost like they were looking right at you and speaking directly to your heart. And so wherever you've pictured that, maybe it's just a famous speech when you've watched Dr. King get up and speak and you just feel like even though he was speaking to millions, there was a message in there for you. So just picture someone that you've experienced that with. And I would propose that is an example of a throat, a voice energy that is in tune to who the person is. When someone can speak so much from their heart and their spirit that someone else in the audience or in the place where they are can feel this almost palpable connection to them, you can know that person is speaking from a place of their own truth, their own authenticity of who they are. But I would also propose that that same thing you've just pictured from someone else that you've observed over time is completely possible for you and me. Not only is it possible, it's realistic for us to think that we could speak in the same way. It's not so much about the words, it's not about the cadence of our voice, it's not about the grammar. It is about the true connection to who we are internally. And the idea of this throat or this voice energy, it's all rooted in the idea of truth. But some of us have gotten so far away from our own personal truth that it almost seems impossible to try to find it. But I love the fact that the word hum, or the sound hum, is the vibration, because in Sanskrit we have a mantra that says so hum. And when you translate, it just means I am. Without any words attached to it, without any adjectives, without any nouns, any titles, just I am. And you see, when we stop the labels and we stop the adjectives and the titles and the words, and we just come to the essence of us, we have found our truth. I am. And you can say to yourself the same thing, you are. Because those labels that we put at the end of that sentence are usually associated with something that the world has put across our path, across our thoughts, until someday, eventually we believe it to be true. But we can go deep down inside of our heart and our spirit, and we can get back to the essence of who we are. All it requires is a little bit of intention. And then we will be just like those people that we all pictured. We will be the ones speaking from our heart, reflecting our truth out into the world. Now, don't get confused and think that reflecting our truth means it's just us just shouting our opinions, our thoughts, our ideas. It is truly about the truth that exists of this mind, body, spirit connection that we experience so very often. We experience it on the mat, on the cushion, sitting in nature, standing outside tonight, watching the rain. We feel this amazing connection of wholeness. So again, it's not about the words you say or the tone of your voice or the messages. It is about the reflection of the wholeness, the truth within each of us. I think that's why the yoga community becomes so strong. Why is it that people who work in different places and come from different parts of life can find this intimate bond with one another for these minutes that we share on these rubber mats in the middle of a studio? I believe it's because we all show up and we leave all those labels out there with our shoes and with our keys and with our doubts about ourselves, and we show up pure, sometimes a little broken, but pure nonetheless, seeking wholeness. So just imagine, what if we could live that same concept every day? You set aside the labels the same way you set aside your shoes before you step on the mat. And you just show up as you. I cannot think of a better representation of the energy that exists at your voice than that. don't have to know the words. You don't have to have the right grammar or the tone or the cadence. You just have to live out your truth. And so I would invite you, just for this next moment or so as it grows quiet, just see how some of those ideas sit with you. Because I know the concept of seeking your truth can be scary and daunting, because so often we associate it with our mistakes and our flaws and our traumas. But your truth exists in the present moment. And those mistakes and those flaws and those traumas, they exist in the past. So let's just sit together in this present moment and begin to be open to your individual truth. And as you just continue just to sit there, allowing this energy just to flow up and down through the midline of your body, through your breath, through your cells, through your whole being, I'd invite you to think about that idea just one more time. Your mistakes, your flaws, your traumas, your bad decisions, they are in the past. They are part of your story, part of your history, but they've already happened. They're in your past. And truth exists in the present. And when you can begin to believe that, you'll realize the power of meditation. Because meditation is a present moment awareness. It doesn't bring up the traumas. It doesn't bring up the mistakes. It asks you to start right here from this moment where you showed up, in the present, in the truth. And so I want to just take you just a little bit deeper beyond just this idea of this truth existing here in the center of your throat at your voice. Because as we've been learning over these times together, all these energies are connected. And right below your voice, your throat energy, is your heart. Which means that your truth comes from a place of love and acceptance and compassion right there in the heart center of you. And then if you go a little bit deeper, down below the heart, right there, right above your navel, is that energy of your self-confidence and your strength. And so your truth is rooted in that belief that you have value and you have inner strength. And you can be confident in the capacity that you have. And then if you go a little below that, you start to find that energy center of your joy, your creativity, all the things that just make you smile, that you want to spend your time on. And knowing yourself on that level also informs your truth. And then right below that, right around the area of your tailbone, is the energy of your root, your grounding, that place that I asked you to just anchor down, find a place to sit, feel secure and safe. And so just think about that from where you are. As you feel physically, emotionally, mentally safe, your voice can't help but be heard. all of the parts of you working together as one. I am safe and secure. I'm in tune with the things that I'm passionate about. I believe in my strength and my value. My heart is open and filled with compassion and acceptance, and because of that, I can speak and live and be my truth. And so for the next moment, I would invite you just to stay where you are and just imagine this line of energy flowing up and down and settling right there at the center of your throat, empowering your voice, not the voice with the accent and the words, but the voice that represents you. See it, feel it, know it. And as you continue to breathe, I want to recognize the fact that probably not very many minutes after we leave this space and this time together, something is going to come across your path that's going to cause you to doubt. It could happen in your home, it could happen through social media, it could happen in all kinds of ways tomorrow morning in traffic. Something is going to cause you to doubt. But I would hope that with every inhale that you take, you will be reminded of the present moment and know that that is where your truth resides. And you'll be able to live your truth and know your truth and be your truth. And eventually those influences of doubt and confusion of noise of the world, they will get less and less. They'll keep coming, but you won't hear them as often. Their control over your life will begin to lessen. You'll begin to doubt less and believe more. And so as we close our time, instead of saying namaste tonight, I want to close it out with that same mantra, this idea of so hum. I am. I don't need to fill in any blanks. I don't need any extra words. It is enough to say, I am. And I hope that as you hear that word, whether you echo it back or not, you will say it to yourself and know that it's enough. So hum.